And we're live.
Oh, you know what I'm interested in is Game of Thrones. Like, I'm sure you sound really into TV. Game of Thrones, where are you at there?
Talking to me?
Yes.
I've never seen it. The reason is simply because, you know, it's one of those things where everyone says, "Hey, why haven't you watched that?" Well, because I watch 4 movies a week, and then I try to watch other things, and then I'm married, and so it's like it's one of those things where it's like
52 minutes a week. Come on.
But it is in the strictest sense your job, right?
Well, when you have when you don't watch one season, and then you don't watch 2 seasons, and then you don't watch 3 seasons, it becomes a thing where it's not 52 minutes a week. It's a lot.
It's
so
2 hours a day.
Can I tell you what you have on your hands?
A great show that I've never watched.
Treasure trove.
Can I tell you something else, though? I want to ask you a question. You guys are doing a podcast here, and I imagine you get a lot of requests, right?
I suppose so.
I imagine a lot of people probably send you requests for things they'd love to hear you talk about, or things that they're interested in hearing your knowledge on. There comes a point where so many people have told you to do something to the point where you don't want to do it. And it's sort of like, I would love to watch Game of Thrones. I would love to at some point. And I can pretty much guarantee I will. Like I waited until the last season of Breaking Bad to watch it. And I watched all of it. And it was amazing. More than likely what'll happen is when Game of Thrones comes to an end, I'll probably watch it. And it's simply because I can't stand cliffhangers. I hate them. I hate because it's like, well, I don't know. I love finality. I love closure. I understand you got to wait for certain things to happen, and I get it. But I just like the idea of when it's all done, just taking like 2 weeks or 3 weeks and just getting all the seasons and just binging it. And I will.
Well, that's going to be really fun.
I'm envious of you because that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it really is. Because Game of Thrones really does stand apart from every other television show that's on the air, or ever has been on the air, in my personal opinion. It just transcends all of them. It's a bigger scope, and usually when you go that big and wide with the scope of a television show, you miss out on the finer details on character A and character B, and then you look in the background and that orc is wearing a rubber mask. You don't get that from Game of Thrones. You get movie quality episodes once a week, all season long. There have been a couple of issues that are just aberrations that we were all kind of like, what are they doing? Come on, that choreography wasn't so good. But most of the time, the fight choreography is excellent. The writing is incredible because it's based on such amazing writing to begin with. And the characters are so rich, so interesting, and there are so many of them that you'll need a Rolodex to remember them all, because every one of them counts, matters, and has their own interesting twist about them, and fits into the big Game of Thrones in their own special way. And after a while, you know, you'll be wearing Game of Thrones memorabilia and humming the song in your head, listening to audiobooks.
One thing I don't like about Game of Thrones is the names. Now, I'm terrible with names, so maybe this is unique to me. But none of them have, like, any human names that you've ever heard before.
Yeah, it's never Ted of Winterfell.
No.
It's literally Ned. It's literally Ned of Winterfell. Come on.
Okay, all right. Ned actually has. And Jon Stark. I guess there's a couple of them that have normal names. But there are a lot of, like, crazy names. And all of them are just, like, bearded guys in their 40s. So if you can deal with, like, a cast that has 92 bearded guys in their 40s with made-up names.
See, the big problem.
Some bearded men. I have no problem.
The biggest problem is this. See, on The Wire, which is a show that I would put almost at the same level. The Wire. Wire's incredible, but I don't think it's as good as Game of Thrones. In The Wire, you have a lot of multicultural people, multiracial people. So it's easier, and I hope that doesn't come off the wrong way. But the issue in Game of Thrones is everyone is a white guy with a beard who's okay looking and has a sword and long hair, and he rides a horse. This describes every man in the fucking show virtually. Mm-hmm. So every now and then there'll be a bald character or a guy with a big bushy red beard, and you're like, oh, that's going to be a cool guy right there. He really stands out. But it's a lot to take in, and I've seen every episode, I think 3 or 4 times at least. Wow. I've went through the audiobooks. I think I've got half of the last audiobook to go. And I'm about to start in on that because it's becoming Game of Thrones season. So I want to get like into the mood. I've been saving it till now.
I did get to interview Sean Bean, which was
that's awesome. That is really.
It's one of the only like real times I've interviewed somebody like really.
Did you ask him about the fact that he's constantly dying in movies and
the
film?
reason I didn't ask him is because I was like, I just want to make sure, because that's an imposing guy. Like when you meet him, he's like, you're like, wow.
One does not simply interview Sean Bean.
Yeah, I mean that's 006 from GoldenEye. That's Boromir from Lord of the Rings. Like, and then he was in like Patriot Games with Harrison Ford, and you're like, wow, like this guy's. So I watched basically every interview that I could of him that was already on YouTube, and 99.9% of them. Did you know you die a lot in movies? And it cuts to his face. That's what I've been told. Yep. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna not ask him that, and just hope that he doesn't like, because I think like
go
now,
a whole different direction and be like, so Mr. Bean, what was it like when you were parading around that palace causing mischief?
Yeah, Mr. Bean, what was it like being alive in this movie? And tell us about not dying. So yeah, it's for me, it's just become, and it's funny because you get kind of briefed with his publicist beforehand, and he was just this is what he said. He was like, I just want to let you know, maybe don't ask about the death thing. And I said, I wasn't planning on it. And he went, that's probably a good idea. And so it's just, you gotta really put yourself in the guy's shoes. You know, he is a guy who
that question a lot.
Yeah, he wakes up, he eats breakfast, he goes to the bathroom, and then he's a normal guy, you know. And then everyone who walks up to him, oh, you're alive! Oh, you're still alive! And it's like, he's like, yes, I'm alive. It's great. So, you know, it's one of those things where I just didn't want to be that guy, you know.